Hi, everybody. How's it going today? Sorry, I'm just trying to put something somewhere. How's January 2nd for everybody? Hey, Melissa, American Justice. How's it going today? Harley's drinking. Apologize.
It's good, I guess. I'm like you at this point. I'm over 2026. Let's just move on. Start over.
Yeah, it didn't take too long this year, did it? Like, I'm over it. Let's just skip ahead. I'm just kidding. Hopefully we have some answers this year. I cannot believe it's been 8 months already. Um, I mean, I'm almost speechless when it comes to the amount of time that's gone by. The kid's still missing, no answers, nothing, just more questions. Every time something else comes out, I feel like we have more questions than answers.
Same here, same here.
Yeah, pretty
And I
crazy.
never expected it to go 8 months without any answers. I really, really didn't.
No, me either. I mean, at the very beginning, like I said, I thought they were in the woods and it was just a matter of time before they'd find them. And then just, I said, it's almost like we've been going backwards. We think like we're, the RCMP are getting somewhere and then nothing, crickets. It's disheartening to say the least. And then the circus that it's become with all the people coming out of the woodwork and social media, and it just, it's not helping, in my opinion.
Oh, I
Um,
agree. And there's so much drama that is surrounding the case and surrounding the people that are close to the case. And I don't just mean family, like creators and all of that. It's just, it blows my mind to see how far this has gone. And to be honest, there's some days I think people forget this is about Jack and Lilly.
yeah, yeah, it's almost like it's for some people, it almost feels like it's a game to some people, like a real life game of Clue for some people, and they hear some rumor or some speculation and they run with it, and it catches fire, and then people add to it, and it just goes. It's insane, and it's a shame that the things that are shared by family have to be so heavily scrutinized because of the inconsistencies since the very beginning. But and I don't know that there's a way to fix it at this point. I was hopeful we could build this community where everybody would just catch on, that if we just stick to what we know, even if it's factual or not, just the things that have come out, if we stick to that, maybe we can drown out the toxicity, and we can stay focused and try to figure out what happened to Jack and Lily. But I mean, it's the harder you try, the worse it gets. I don't know. It's disheartening to say the least.
It is. And that's sad because, you know, yes, this is a case that we follow. And yes, this is a case that we cover. But when you get down to it, it's about Jack and Lily and finding Jack and Lily and finding what happened to Jack and Lily and those people being held responsible. And like you said, so many people are treating this like a game of Clue, and it's like, it's not a game, it's real life for this family.
That's right. And what family? Are we talking about Belinda? Can we include
Yes.
Daniel in there? Malaya? You know, it's the more you look at it and the more you know. And if you saw how everything unfolded in real time, you realize how tragic the case is. Like on all fronts, it's tragic.
Agreed.
So, um, so I want to address the fact that I put yesterday's live stream, I put it to private. As soon as I got off the live, I put it to private. And my reason for doing that is because I have a condition where sometimes I just get really tired, and it's terrible, and I really had no business doing a live stream yesterday, but I almost felt obligated to do it. But, there were some things that I said, not only my demeanor, like, I was very tired and very foggy, but there were some things that I said that I did not intend to ever put out there, and, and it wasn't anything personal or private, it just doesn't help anything, and, um, I decided that I mean, I've never been about clicks, views, or anything like that. It is exciting to see my channel grow, but when it comes down to integrity and what I personally stand for in this case, I would rather take a live stream down than to worry about the views that I'm getting for it if I don't stand behind my content. Not that I said anything that was false, just things that I did not want, that I never should have said publicly. And I mean, I was very disappointed with myself, and that's why I cut it short. And I put it to private right away. So that's my reason for that, Carrie Bailey. If you're still here, which you're probably not, because you said that very early this morning, but that's my reason for that. Hey, Animal Keeper and Amy. Steph, thank you for becoming a member. That's very sweet. Hey, Maxie and Kimber, prayers for Jack and Lily. 8 months. Hey, Catter. Oh, look, American Justice. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Ben gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. I can't see who got those on this end. But if you got a free membership, can you please say thank you to Ben and pay it forward if you have the ability? And Marie Antoinette, that's good to see you. And who else? Anybody? Sarah, always a pleasure. True Crime Junkie is here. Thanks for being here, Nancy. Hey, Betty Knight, as always. Mr. Hemi, good to see you. Countryside Wildflowers. Love that you're here. Hey, TJ's mom, Ori. I obliged your request, as you can see. Thank you for being here. Hey, Colleen and Nurse Scotia Leo. Hey, Mike. Good to see you again. Kim Mitchell's here. Thank you for joining us. And hey, Kelly and Gaspé. Subidoo. What's that? And Root Strength. Best to ignore the outside noise, focus on bringing love and light. It's getting harder by the day, Ori. It really is. After reading the Globe and Mail, it has given me hope again that this will be solved. I was getting really discouraged this would go cold. However, I don't believe that now. That's good. I mean, I never thought that it wouldn't be solved. However, I mean, I think as long as we keep going on social media, the chances that tips stop is slim to none. And I think at that point, when the tips stop is when it goes cold, when nothing else goes in, right? So we keep talking, we keep generating conversation. And as long as the tips keep coming in, going into the RCMP only, the RCMP, I think we can keep this from going cold. That's just my opinion. The article that just came out shows they have an idea what happened and are working hard. No news usually indication they are working hard, right? And they're not feeding in. Although I think that they should be able to dispel some of the misinformation. I say it all the time. They did it with the Idaho 4 case. The investigators came out and they dispelled some of the false information, and I think that would be really helpful in this case. Hey, Brian, thanks for being here. I think she has said things in her alleged hospital therapy. Maybe. Wild mod pocket modding, pushing all the rug. What are you saying, Sarah? Are you okay? You're not stroking out on me, are you? Hey, Lynn, notifications didn't work? Oh, there's 81 people here. I think that worked just fine. You're here, aren't you? Hey, Amy. I know it's not going to go cold, but it really shouldn't go this long with no concrete evidence, and I cannot imagine going through this as family or friends. It's bad enough as a community. I can only imagine. Hey, Jam, funny story. I was going through some old screenshots today, and although I'm not going to show them, I was reminded today of our dealings in the past that your email reminded me of, and I couldn't remember what it was, but today I got to read all those. So that's great. Still waiting, by the way. Anyway, hey, Lori. Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. You got my answer. That's why it won't be going public again, just because I wasn't. Um, it it just wasn't a good life. So mercy buckets. You're welcome. I'm thinking that because of the more positive interview that Rob gave compared to his last one. Yeah. And I think for me, I think that he heard some of the commentary, some of the opinions from his last one, maybe constructive criticism a little bit, and did it a little bit differently this time. Just my opinion. McMac, thank you for being here. It's amazing how good you sound since you came out of the closet. Yeah. And I ain't moving back. Actually, 2 days from now, I get to go back to Salmon Arms, so I'll have my beautiful kitchen behind me again for a little bit. I haven't decided if I'm coming back out here to this hellhole. My car got stuck this morning coming back from the doctor. I'm watching on 2 devices to give you and Shan both views. Thank you so much. Melissa and I were both watching Shan, which makes it feels me like I feel bad because both AJ and I are mods on Shan's channel. So she currently doesn't have any mods unless Daphne got there. I'm sorry I'm just rambling on here, Melissa. I just need to get through my romper room.
You're good.
Have RCMP solve this case than Kent. Ditto. I'm not even going to attempt your last name, but real tips only? Absolutely. To the RCMP only. Look at the bags under my eyes, you guys. Fuck. Yesterday was a bad day. Hit the thumbs up. Woo! And if you're not subbed to Melissa, American Justice, she will put her channel. We're doing a dual stream, so if you're with Melissa right now, thanks for watching over there. She can say her piece in a minute. But if you're not subbed, head over there. We're trying to get her to 500. That'd be fantastic. Hey, yes, ma'am. I know you did. I'm talking about the first one, way back. I had no idea what you were talking about, but now I remember. We're not going to get into it because water off a duck's back. Hey, Allison. And that's it. Romper Room is done. And I would like to give Melissa the floor. If you have any chatters, do you want to say hi to them? I don't know how you start your live streams. I'm always late when I come into your live stream. So
I just generally say hi, everybody, but thank you, Ben and Countryside Wildflowers and Sarah for being in chat.
okay. So today, like I said earlier, I was looking for something. I don't even remember at this point what it was I was looking for. And you all know that I kind of did like a like a public, I guess, request for any family or friends of Jack and Lily's to send me your messages. If you want the public to know anything, like remind us that these children are real people and they have a real family that's still out there. And remind us that these are not just a storyline. This isn't just content. We need to keep them humanized so that we don't get lost in all the drama. And I asked them to, send me something, give me something that I can cover on the 8-month mark. Unfortunately, I got nothing. And something else had sidetracked me. And I went to one of the people, one of my contacts that I've been talking to the longest in this case. Obviously, Sunny would be the number one regarding this case. And Daniel I believe would be the number 2 because it was in May that I was in contact with him at the beginning. And, um, the 3rd one, I was looking for something because I remember we used to share so much information back and forth. Um, so I was looking through, just looking for something, and I found all of these almost nostalgic screenshots and stuff that we were sharing back and forth. And so I thought this would be a good idea to go through, and this isn't the kind of reminiscing that I was hoping to do for the 8-month mark. I refuse to call it an anniversary, but, it's still kinda reviewing where we were at in certain points in this case, as far as social media goes. Um, thank you, Sarah. Thanks. If I can't it's not that I don't stand behind what I said, it was just the way it came out, it was not, wasn't me. I should never have been on live yesterday. Melissa, your intro and outro are amazing. Yes, they sure are.
And I
Absolutely
have
love them.
Justin from Clutchpearls and Grendel, which is one of your mods, and I think one of mine, um, were wonderful enough to take some lyrics that I had done and put them into AI and get a music video. And then I put um, just the pictures of some cases that I followed. And I've got a couple different lyrics, but thank you.
I know, I love it. It's great that you, it's great that you thought to reach out for help with that. 'Cause I know when I did mine, I just it was a shit show, but whatever. I mean, good on you for reaching out and the talent that it takes to write those, words. I don't know if you intended them to be lyrics, but very well done. Love it. Melissa, is there anything you need help researching for the docs? I have a torn Achilles, lots of time on my hands right now. That's an awesome, um, or offer. I'm still a little bit foggy. Please be gentle with me, but Melissa,
That
you have
sounds painful. Ugh. No, that sounds too painful. No, just rest up really with the document. I mean, I had some stuff here and there. Um, I need to get back to it. But there's really nothing. We're at 8 months, and at this point, everything we're talking about is kind of being rehashed again. Like we've thought, through things that's either already in the document, and I am one, I don't like repeating myself over and over. So I it's hard to find something new to put in there, but thank you for the offer though.
mm, I'm getting all kinds of messages, and just know that I am aware of what went on, and uh, I'm on top of it. Don't even worry about it. We're good. Um, okay. So, like I said, this is going to be in no particular order, you guys. Hey, Mary Stevens and Lori Green. Man, people are just coming in. In my opinion, a close family member should stand up and tell us about the time spent with the children, the funny things. That's what I wanted, right? I want to know what their favorite treat is. I want to know if they had a favorite movie or their favorite activity at the park. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things. Like, was Lily ever in a dance class? There's all kinds of things that I could sit here and talk about my grandbabies for days. And I just want to, I want to, and I asked the 7-month as well. I want to humanize these children, to bring them to reality, to bring everybody to reality that these are not just, it's not a story. It's not fodder for content online. Unfortunately, that's what it is, but I'm trying to humanize them, and it's next to impossible when you don't get any input from family. And I asked for it and I couldn't get it. But anyways, let's get Steph, well, that tells us everything. What? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Um, anyways, okay, so this is in no particular order. So I'm hoping that as I show these and we read them, it'll just spark conversation and let's just work harder to keep the conversation relevant without getting into a whole bunch of the drama. But we still need to address the stuff that's happened, right? And there's no harm in revisiting any of this stuff. The stuff has already been put out elsewhere. Over the last 8 months, we've gone through it all. But I think a lot of stuff we've forgotten, and some of the stuff I certainly haven't thought about for months. So, I mean no disrespect to anybody, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything. These are things that have happened. See you, Ego. Good to see you, and Addie B. Remind me later, okay? And I will go back and check my email, okay? Belinda's given the most insight to the kids and hadn't seen them in years. That speaks volumes. Janie's remarks indicate she can't stand them, and Daniel blames them and acts like a victim. And Malaya is mum. Keep them in your prayers. Let's hope for answers soon. That's all we can do. Okay. No, I'm sure I don't have my email open right now, but I will. I will open it. Okay. All right. Oh man, that's small. Can you guys see that? Probably not. Probably not. So as we all know, I reached out to Daniel at the end of May because I was seeing him on the news all the time. And after Malaya had left, my mind was just spinning like, what the hell is going on in Lansdowne? I couldn't I couldn't figure it out. So I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, I've got a little YouTube channel. I'm Canadian based. I'm co-host. I was co-host with Sunny at that time." And I said, "I don't expect you to get back to me. I'm not, writing you for content, but I just wanted to wish you my best and let you know that you do have support out there." And like I said, this was at the end of May. And he wrote me back and said, "Sorry, I'm not talking to YouTube channels." And I said, "I don't blame you." But then he continued with this. "I will add some more info to the story. We lived in Truro. We moved so she could get away from her mother. Malaya couldn't stand being around her anymore. Malaya asked me many times recently in the last few months if she could cut off her mother from her life. I always said, 'No, that's your mother.' Lily always tried to take that backpack outside because it was her play backpack. My other daughter, which is 8, taught her to do that when me and all the kids would play treasure hunt outside. Malaya put Lily and Jack on the back burner when Meadow was born. I taught Lily and Jack everything from potty training, getting the Luthers, which he means the soothers, from their mouths. I did everything for them. Lily and Jack called me dad and to me came for me for everything, never Malaya. She had no control over the kids. They were wild with her, and with me, they listened and were well behaved. I promised myself I'd always be there for Malaya and the kids, and I'm holding to that promise." Does anybody have anything to say about that? Because my, how things have changed. Am I right? Casey would. Julie, today was devastating when they found Jonathan, and I think, why do I watch this stuff? It's so dark, but I also can't close the book on Jack and Lily. It would be lovely to know more about their little characters. Exactly. I agree. And I'm begrudgingly doing things this way today because I asked for something else, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is. Do you have any thoughts on this one screenshot here, Melissa?
I thought it was weird the way he worded things about how Jack and Lily would always come to him, and basically they didn't mind Malaya, but they would listen to him. And when he first said it back in the start of the case, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, it didn't. I'm not saying it's not true. It just didn't sound right. And now that the case has, we are where we are today and we know what we know. For me, it just, I wonder if it's not so much that they listened to Daniel as much as they were afraid of Daniel and afraid of what he would do or how he would react.
Mhm. And it's funny you say that, and I don't talk a whole lot about my own personal history, my past, but I will say that strangely, my ex, he would say, and it's been a long time, so I can't remember the exact wording, but there was something about um fear is respect. If they fear you, they're forced to respect you. He had that kind of ideology, and I wonder if Daniel might be the same.
Who is,
And also, remember Melissa, remember Elijah View, um,
yes,
mom's boyfriend said the same shit. That 2-year-old little boy needed to learn how to be a man, how to respect
yes.
him. You
And
could,
that's what Daniel reminds me of when he says they would only listen to me, or they wouldn't listen to Malaya, or I'm the one that they always came to or always listened to. It reminds me of that so much.
yeah. And Brian, what do you mean? You feel the very same way? What do you mean? To be honest, I think he had an agenda in me, good guy, her bad guy. Oh, absolutely. The children were terrified of him. This is turning into the Sebastian Rogers case. When info comes out unfavorable to whoever, then more distractions, faux theories, and then adjusting the story. Sad, how rare. 2 children missing. It is sad, and that's exactly what happens. We get information, it doesn't matter what information it is, but then we get all of these, like I said, they go back and they try to fill gaps in their story, but then they just create more inconsistencies and more questions, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. Hey, Denise, he looks like he's expecting to be placed in handcuffs at any moment in that picture. Yeah, if you remember, this was at the first vigil. You ladies are nailing it. I want, yeah. I mean, there's no new information really. Uh, so we're taking a trip down memory lane, and not the type of trip that I had hoped for today, but it's still remembering things about the case, and hopefully it brings up more memories of the children. Daniel needs to control the narrative. I divorced my parents. Fear does not give a parent respect. It sets in concrete of who they really are in the world. Nobody's. Fair? I noticed how he would never look at the camera when talking. He always looked down and to the side a bit. What's funny? I don't know about Melissa because I'm usually concentrating on her chat. But for me, my camera is set up in between my screens. So when I'm talking to you guys, I'm actually looking at chat or looking to the content that I have on the screen. I'm 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 rarely looking at my camera, just so you guys know. It's not because I'm deceptive. It's, you know. Hey
I
Tom.
never thought of that. I should move my camera between my screens because I have it on my bigger screen because I have one that's just a smidge bigger than the other one. And then when I'm showing stuff, and I noticed it in my last live, I show stuff on my other screen. So, like, I'm constantly looking to the side, and
Yeah.
it's not that I mean to,
Yeah.
it's just how it's set up. But I do agree, with what they're saying. Daniel doesn't really look at the camera, and it's not like he's dealing with two screens or he's showing content. How hard would it be for him to look into a camera and say, Jack and Lily, we love you. Jack and Lily, we want you home. Um, and it's
And
something that
yeah.
they don't do. And even, I mean, Malaya did it a little bit, but she was at least looking towards the camera. I mean, in a sense.
Yeah, and sort of, she was, but I know news media usually will set the camera up kind of back, just behind the person they're interviewing so that it or sorry, the person that's doing the interviewing so that you're typically looking at the person you're speaking to, right? So at least at the very least they're facing the camera. But you're right, Daniel always seemed kind of closed off and deflected from showing his eyes or whatever. I know what you guys are saying.
But what got me more with Daniel was the crossing of the arms and the swaying. And I've said it over and over and over. And I think you've said it a couple times now, and some other people are starting to say it. But he gives off Chris Watts vibes. The way he stands, the way he sways, the way he tries to fake emotion. I just get Chris Watts vibes from him severely. And
Yeah.
maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Early on, he displayed like a lot of self-soothing behavior. But if you notice on what I think it was his last interview he did, it was out by that bench. It was about the HRD dogs, but he was much more animated. Like he was talking a lot more with his hands. You know, his arms were kind of more animated than they had been in the past. I noticed that, but again, I'm not a body language expert. I don't know what it all means, but I do know what the swaying, what the crossing of the arms is. Um, Very much self-soothing. But you're right, and I remember Chris Watts, he was very closed off. He always had his arms folded. He was always swaying, or the best one was when they were reviewing the ring bell footage from the neighbor.
Yes.
And he was just you could tell that he was internally losing his shit. And, I mean, it was all over his body
Oh, yeah.
language.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it the way he was standing, and then he's like, "Oh shit, is it gonna show it?" And you could tell he was definitely freaking out on the inside.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Denise said,
Like
"But we know Daniel looks away to hide his truth," and he does. That's something, And one thing, if I had to go through interviews and pick out something that really bugged me recently, and it's not really recently, but one of the things that bugged me when he said, "I'm not the best voice for Jack and Lilly." Well, who is? Because I only hear your voice and Belinda. So I believe, in my personal opinion, and my opinion only, Belinda is the best voice. But it was weird for him to say that.
oh, I agree, and the way he said, I'm probably not the best voice for Jack and Lily, but I think at that point, that was at, I wanna say Jack's birthday vigil. Um, by then, he was under heavy, heavy scrutiny for good reason, right? Like, he knew what the majority of the public perception was of him, so I think in true form, he was trying to, uh, I don't even know the right way to put it, but he was trying to not appease the public, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean, like, he was trying to say something that wasn't gonna get him attacked too terribly.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it doesn't matter what he says at some points, he's done it to himself, but we're going to analyze and scrutinize everything he says, so
And he's very well aware that we do that, because even in the one interview, he even stated that he's aware that the public is analyzing his every movement and his every word and all of this. And it's like, well, yeah, because you're the one out here speaking. I mean, of course, we're going to try to figure this out. You were one of the last ones, or the last one, to see the kids. Of course, we're going to analyze and look at what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're acting, because generally that's what we do. That's how we pick up as people whether or not we believe somebody, right? Is their body language. Are they looking us in the eyes? Are they maintaining contact with us? And that's what we do as people.
yeah. And that same interview you were just speaking of is the one where he was more animated with his arms, you know. So Ori, I look off from people. I'm neuro spicy, though. I have to stare between people's eyes if I want to appear to make eye contact. I can't help myself, but I stare. It's not from lack of engagement or anything, but I find myself looking at mouths when people talk. Like I try to glance up at their eyes, but I don't know. My brain just goes directly to their mouth. I don't know if it's because I'm half deaf half the time. Like, I don't know. Oh, Malaya was not any better? No, she was totally odd, odd. He be tweaking. Let's move on to the next screenshot, you guys. I've got something going on. Um, that I want to stay on top of. But anyways, we're gonna do this. Oh, interesting. I have 11 grandkids and can tell you a million things about each of them. Right. We know Jack likes bugs and dinosaurs. Lily has a backpack. She likes LOL and she likes Monster High dolls. She likes unicorns and she's a girly girl. But I wonder what's their favorite treat? What was their favorite food? Um, did they get excited about anything specific? Like if you told them you were going to Grampy's or something, did they get super excited? Did they love going in the car? Um, did they get super excited when they were gonna go see Nana Cindy? These are the things that I was hoping to get, and it's unfortunate I got nothing. So instead, we will read My mom was napping and came outside because she heard me yelling that morning for the kids. Malaya was playing on her phone. Mom came out and she said Malaya had a look of worry in her eyes, that mom was home. No tears. She wasn't scared the kids were gone, just a look of worry she got caught for something wrong. She never yelled once the kid's name trying to find them. Mom said it was odd she acted odd. Malaya asked me when noticed the kids were gone, should I call the police? The fucking kids are gone. What else should you do? And the more I think about this, I get it. I get it. However, I'm also wondering if it's at all true, which I don't believe it, but if it's all true that it was only 20 minutes. And I keep wondering why in the world Janie wouldn't have said something like, "Well, I just heard them out here. They can't have gone far." Something like that was said. Maybe, possibly. Maybe there was in her mind at that moment no reason to worry. Like maybe she was worried, like, they've wandered off, but no crying or anything. Would you be in hysterics? I mean, I think I would be, but I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to use Janie's words, I would be hysterical. But something that you and I talked about privately, and I please don't get mad at me for sharing this, but we had talked about when Janie had come outside and Malaya said the kids are missing or the kids are gone, however she stated it, because it's been stated both ways what she said. And Janie said, "Well, how long?" And she's like, 20 minutes. And you and I had talked about it almost feels like when the words how long, like, well, how long this time?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, if she had truly just heard the kids not too long before, why didn't she mention that? Well, they were just here. I just heard them not too long ago. Look at her
Exactly.
watch, look at her phone and say, I was on the phone with Ron. I might have fell asleep for 20 minutes, but I just heard them. Like Fluffy or whatever the fuck her dog's name is barked. You know what I mean? That would have come up. That's why. Speculation. Did it seem like Daniel got quiet just around the same time it came out? Malaya was in the hospital, and now the Globe and Mail article with the police being so matter of fact, in my opinion, timing works. As for the timing of the hospital, I believe, let me think, because I I was told that Malaya went into the hospital right around the same time as the search. And the search, things that happened during the search pissed Daniel off to the point where he was lashing out online. And then his family lawyer advised him that the things that were going on online, finally, somebody might have got through to him, wasn't helping his case with Meadow. So that's what I heard. Not saying it's a fact. I'm just saying that's what I heard. I'm not a fan, but we don't know what he did and did, and he did take most of the heat. You have to ask why. I have my views on that. I ask that all the time. And I mean, to be honest with you, I asked him all the time, like, what? I can't say that if I was a step parent and the biological parent was MIA and left me, I can't say that I would be doing the same thing he did. And he would say, well, if I don't do it, who will? That kind of that kind of thing. And like I said, I'm not making it, I'm telling you what he told me. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't believe it. This is literally what he told me. He said he would not stop looking. Jack and Lily, what is he up every day and going in the woods to look? I don't think he is loser. Yeah, I think it's
Well,
pretty
on that
clear.
note,
Yeah.
he did say he wouldn't stop looking. And remember when he was on um that one show? I won't mention his name, but he's he was asked had he ever went and searched up by where the boot print was found, or up there on the pipeline, and he flat out stated, no, I've never been up there. And this was months months later. He's had plenty of time. I get, if he has to go to work and all that, but I would think if you're still searching, that might be like your starting point, right?
Mhm.
Of, well, this is where boot prints were found. Let me go check it out. And for him to say that he had never been up there to check that area was like, wow, really? Like the one area that you claim, where the kids were, that you hadn't been up there. And Denise had asked why. Why wouldn't she say that? I don't know exactly what she meant, what we were talking about then. If she could clarify that for me.
I'm not sure. I must have missed that.
But it seems odd, he says, I'll search a lifetime if I have to. I'm out in the woods
Yeah.
searching every day and all that, but yet he doesn't go to the one place um that I personally would think he would go. And Janie said at the beginning, she said that she practically had to drag and then changed it immediately and said carry, and the news cut out the word drag, but that she had to practically drag and carry Jack through the woods. But yet her first instinct was to go up in the woods. And it's like, well, if he didn't, like, if you had to practically carry him through there, then why was that your first instinct? And I know you and I had talked about the quote unquote fort up in the woods with the trees, and I told you, I said I can prove that that's false. And you asked me how, and I sent you pictures. And when you look at it, there was no matted down grass. There were no
Mhm.
toys up there in that little fort. But also, if you look beyond that and you look at the evergreens on the fort, at one point they're really bright and green, and evergreens get dark quickly. So, how is that somewhere that they played all the time and they built themselves? First of all, kids their age aren't going to be able to move those massive branches that were making this fort. But if it were something that they used all the time, they wouldn't still be nice and green and fresh.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good point. Melody Buzzard's mother also didn't like flyers. She took them down, which is even worse than not bothering to put any up. I I agree. And I don't know that it was Daniel, but I believe that there was somebody taking posters down. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere.
Well,
No.
remember Daniel said he had posters, I think, like every 20 feet or something like that surrounding his property, but I've only ever seen one. So,
Mhm.
you know, take that for what you will. And Denise said that I meant about Janie. Janie didn't say that she saw or heard the kids. Actually, she did. She said that she heard the kids multiple times, and there's a screenshot somewhere. I would have to go find it where she said that she saw and heard, and then it changed back to, well, I didn't see them, I only heard them. So she has said multiple times over and over that she heard the kids, and then she fell back to sleep, and then the next thing she knew, she heard Daniel yelling at Jack. And there's like three different reasons at this point that she thought Daniel was yelling for Jack. So she did take it back, but she definitely said it. And now it's consistently, I only heard the kids. And it's even in the court documents when she was speaking to RCMP.
Mhm. And as far as screenshots go, towards the end of this little presentation that we're going over here, I did I did include what spurred the so-called argument between Janie and Durwood in a YouTube live chat. They were both in at the same time and contradicted each other. And it was the following day that the fallout happened. So we'll hit on that screenshot here soon. Um, so now the next four slides, I'm not 100% sure the proper order of them, but I have to cough. Just give me a sec if you want to talk. Go ahead.
So Denise said, thank you. You're welcome. What I like about Char's channel is she keeps that as factual as we can get it. I don't know who those messages are to. If I knew, I'd read them for you guys, but I don't. Hello, Sheila.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if I'm seeing your chat in here as well or just mine, but either way.
So we can see in the back, um, we can see everybody. Your chat cannot see my chat, and my chat cannot see your chat, though.
Okay, but we
We
can
see
see.
both.
Okay. Hmm. So these next four slides is a conversation, and then the reason why we brought it up is because there was something between Haley and Daniel in a group chat, but at the end of it all, both of them deleted all of their messages. It was wild. I couldn't find the last screenshot where we went back and we screenshotted where everything was deleted, but it was like one by one. You saw Daniel delete a message, Haley delete a message, um and eventually the whole thing was just deleted messages. But Sunny was quick enough to grab these screenshots, and we did. These have been out for months, but um, so Lana says, I know everyone's emotions are all over the place, but the rule here is be respectful. And Haley unsent a message. My lies, come on, Haley. I agreed to keep my mouth shut. And Haley said, your inconsistency in your story, then however you want to say it. And um, and then Daniel was saying, I've got lots of dirt. Do you want some on you, Haley? They made a mistake. I'm already screenshotted as it is, so I'll shut up. Cheryl says, Daniel, did Darren or you find out why they didn't show his interview or if they still plan to? And this was when Darren or Durwood was interviewed, and Janie's interview was aired, but Darren's wasn't. And remember, they ended up showing like 15 seconds of Durwood in an extended interview. I would have been pissed if I was Durwood, but whatever. More research is needed to determine facts in this interview. CBC doesn't want to harm the investigation in any way. Haley, I will not speak on you for now, but if anything comes up from you or Cindy, I will. Malaya, on the other hand, I will not bash anymore. Don't do it, Haley. And then somebody replied, LOL. You don't even know me to speak about me, and honestly, it doesn't bother me. We are here for Jack and Lily. Now what you have on me, not what you have on me. And Daniel said, "You're right. I agree, Haley. I will keep my mouth shut. Tell Cindy and Wade that." Cindy wears the pants in that relationship. Wade never worked, doesn't want to because he never paid child support. Cindy cheats on him. Christine said, "Sorry, just been busy all day." Popped in. Daniel, Cindy used to write love letters to a guy in prison that murdered and, well, having a boyfriend, some sad. Cindy forced Malaya on antidepressant meds at 15. Cindy never raised her kids. Patty did. Malaya raised Hayden because she couldn't. Cindy has CPS record. Want more? Haley says more bullshit. Daniel said, "I got lots." Then how did Cindy get custody of Meadow with a CPS record? Um, but if you're out speaking for the whole internet, they were speaking to someone with no idea they were recorded. So why would they shut up? You can do something that others can't. And Daniel said, "Not shame on me, lies are destroying this case. It's hard to determine facts from lies." Haley said, "Your own lies, though." And then you can see at the bottom here, that's when stuff starts being deleted. What do you have to say about that stuff? That whole thing was kind of an interesting back and forth. It's like it's almost like warning. I don't know. He was alluding to having information on Haley, and Haley was like, "What information? Let's hear it." It was almost like a tit for tat for the sole purpose of screenshots. To me, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And, Haley was almost like, go ahead, you know, but Haley was calling him out. It's your lies, your inconsistencies. You know, I don't believe at all that Haley knows where the kids are or has the kids or anything like that. And Daniel, in my opinion, and in my opinion only, is trying to throw shade on anybody and everybody that he can to get the focus off of him, off of his mother, two of the three people that were on the property. And he says, well, I'm not going to bash Malaya anymore. But, later on, I believe after that, he did bash Malaya more. And he does blame Malaya. And then he takes it back. And then he does it again. Just like Janie and, well, I was raking. I wasn't raking. I heard the kids. I seen the kids. I didn't hear the kids. I didn't see the kids. Nobody can seem to get their quote unquote story straight, which is so frustrating because I have said it before and I will continue to say it. The truth does not change. If I'm telling you that my mailbox got hit, right? And I know this is a horrible analogy, but if I tell you, hey, my mailbox got hit, and later on, a month or so later, I'm like, yeah, that truck hit my mailbox. Yes, it's a change because I didn't say the truck first, but it's still the same story essentially. And unfortunately, with this, it's not. It's the kids were gone for 20 minutes and we searched everywhere. We did this and we did that. I had my phone, I didn't have my phone. It's the constant back and forth is what, when I look at inconsistencies as to what I'm talking about, and I think, a lot of us kind of feel the same way. That's what, and what Haley was alluding to, it's your lies, it's your inconsistencies that people are pointing out.
Right. Um, it's ridiculous. I don't even know what to make of today. My God. All right. So, okay. Again, we are just looking at stuff that happened. So this here that you're looking at, this is from a TikTok live stream very early on. And there's this individual, Brandon Lemieux, that was absolutely convinced that Daniel had hidden the kid somewhere, put the kid somewhere, to the point where he sent a message on May 5th asking, "Where are those babies at, bud?" You see that over here. So, I mean, it's pretty wild. But anyways, in this live chat, and I was not in this live chat, but a good friend of mine was. And recently I asked for those screenshots, and he was good enough to send them to me. But he said, I can tell you all without a doubt the RCMP have fucked up massively. I know major crimes visited me. And then over here, he answered somebody, said evidence was found at Garlock Brooks Falls, but between Lairg Road Graveyard and the falls, not. And then I think that was a mess up, but yeah, that's lots not searched between the falls and the trailer. So that's interesting to me because I think now it's been searched, correct?
To my understanding, yes. But I could be wrong on that.
This is like early on. I want to say this was maybe the beginning to mid July. But so if they're saying at this point that there was lots not searched, I mean, Mike MX is right. Like this stuff, like it is it's a massive area. So this I thought would be interesting to point out maybe future search areas. Like, why wouldn't you go back and check? If we're willing to pound that same ground over and over and over again after 150 people, and then add another 75 people, and then add another please bring me home 30 people over basically the same area, why wouldn't we just want to add this area? So it might be worth it for somebody to pull that up and figure out if any of that area is private property because apparently, allegedly, there are trails that go all the way to those falls. And if that area hasn't been searched, it might be a good place to search. I just wanted
Yeah.
to pull that up mostly for that information.
Wasn't
And
that
like,
area that you're talking about here, wasn't that where I want to say Daniel had sent either maybe you or Sonny or somebody else, and we have a screenshot
me,
where he said, I want to go back to the falls
mhm, yeah,
about Malaya, right?
I can't wait to relive our first date at the falls or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was to me. Not to me, that was his message that he gave me to try to get out to Malaya early on in May. Yeah. You betcha. But moving on. Oh, I love being passive aggressive. And these ones are just random, like, what the fuck moments with Daniel and his random stuff. Yes, the black eye in the photo that's going viral was caused by Lilly. So that one picture of Jack, I believe he has a toque on, but it's clearly a black eye. This is Daniel saying that that came directly from Lilly. It's wild to me that these poor children seem to, you know, do they, is are they violent and aggressive with each other because it's a learned behavior, or are they just totally accident prone? What do you think, Melissa?
I mean, I think it's definitely a learned behavior, right? Children mock what they see. And we know that there is a past of DV in this relationship, but it also sticks out to me as those are classic abuser excuses. They ran into a doorknob, they gave it to each other. Those are classic things that an abuser says. So when he says stuff like that, it makes me go, but did she really? Like, I know kids will roughhouse. I had two boys. I get it. Kids roughhouse. But to have constant black eyes or bruised hands or fingers or marks on them, that is not typical roughhousing, in my opinion. Um, and it's just, again, I go back to those are classic abuser comments, oh, they're clumsy, oh, they ran into a doorknob, whatever.
Well, yeah, and there's also I mean, I don't, I know what I think, like in my head and in my heart, I know what I think, but I can't. I can't place judgment because in my family, I can say for sure, my kids have never had a black eye. My grandson's had a black eye. Um, I've never had a real black eye. I don't think it's that common. So I'm gonna light my incense. So you're gonna hear my lighter, but it's only my incense. But yeah, I don't think kids giving other kids in the household the black eye is normal, nor do I think it's okay, you know? Because like I said, I am 52 almost. My daughters are in their 30s. They've never had black eyes, never. It's just not something that happens to be able to say Jack gave Lily black eyes, Lily gave Jack black eyes. It's terribly specific, in my opinion.
And I agree. I mean, is it normal? No. Does it happen from time to time? Yes, of course it happens, but not on a normal basis. Not as much as these kids, as much as Jack and Lily seem to have bruising. Um, so I don't think it's normal. I mean, I agree it could happen, but I agree with you. It's not normal.
Yeah. Uh, I know sometimes I can get terribly defensive, and I want to make sure that my my chat is okay. If anybody is feeling uncomfortable with the direction of any comments, please let me know. And yes, I'm 52. Are you talking to me, Wildflower? Or Countryside? Sorry. That was Ben. Thanks, Ben. Somebody outed themselves. I cannot find who got those memberships. But again, please. Anyways, can we continue? Let's do this because this part is when I was like, all right, there's something fishy going down in Pictou. Dolly Vision had a chat and Daniel was in there. And at some point during this chat, Dolly ended up giving Daniel a wrench, made him a mod so that he could better track what Daniel was saying. And I believe at some point as well, he made it a members only just to slow everything right down. But then he put it public after it was done. But early on, I was there and I was able to grab these screenshots because Daniel, out of the blue, says, No, the sweaters were taken when they left because I was up at the command center and it's a kilometer away and I had to walk back from there. Her family took two of my sweaters when they left. Watch them be planted when investigators close in. What? What? Have you seen this one before there, Melissa?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that happened. And to see it in real time and to understand there was nothing asking him about sweaters, shirts, nothing, just came out with it. And the first one was her family took two of my sweaters. Then his follow up was no, the sweaters were taken, blah, blah, blah. In real time, it was off the friggin' wall. It was like, what just happened and why? I couldn't believe it. You seem speechless.
I am. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. For me, it's almost as if he's trying to get ahead of the game, I guess. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to get ahead of, well, when you
Yeah,
find the kids and my sweater is with them, right? Like, well, I told you guys back then her family took them. Like, that is what's
yeah.
in my head at the moment.
It's so funny. Where I was at, I was still on Sunny's channel and, you know, whatever we were doing over there. And I was like, in my head, I was thinking, okay, so something happened and he had somebody help him, and the children were probably wrapped in sweaters. And then when the person, whoever helped him, got back, Daniel said, Where's my sweaters? And whoever helped him said, Oh, well, I left them with the kids. And Daniel's like, Oh, God damn it. And now I have to get ahead of that. And then so he jumped on a live stream and said this. Um, but I mean, obviously, a lot of time had gone by, so I don't think that. But at the time, I was like, The fuck, Daniel? My God.
I mean, I've heard Sunny say it, but I have not seen the
Yeah.
screenshots until now. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, this is my screenshot I took, and I sent it to Sunny. I was like, "I don't know what to think here. I don't know what to think here." Allegedly, he did, but I did not hear that, and it came across. So before this, there was talk about 2 shirts that Malia had taken, but this was something different, these sweaters, and he said that they had taken them while he was away searching. And then after the fact, after all of this, there was information, and I never saw a screenshot, but I heard about it from many people that Daniel had said, "Never mind, I found the sweaters." And I like, conveniently or legitimately, who knows? Honestly, who knows?
So I thought this was interesting too. Mike said, when investigators close in, and that is a good thing to point out because he did say, watch them be planted when investigators close in. Close in on what?
Right, right. It's wild. Like, it is hard to it's hard to verbalize how important it is. You can't understate how hard it would be to catch up on everything on this case if you didn't watch it unfold in real time. Like I said, like, you're reading this now and you're just like, "Wait, what?" But when you see it in real time and you realize there was talk about a couple of T-shirts that he knew were gone, but there was nothing about these sweaters, and it just kinda came out of nowhere, and I was like, what the what?" It added to the, "Okay, we need to sit Daniel down, give him a shake, and ask him what the hell happened," you know? But then and like everything else, it just kinda went away. So,
Yeah, that's got my mind going, huh? Because I
yeah.
mean, I know that the sweaters are now found, but you know, when I was doing this document, I really, really tried to believe Daniel and Malia, and I flip flopped, but it was so hard to catch up to everything because it was almost like an overload of information.
Oh, absolutely, it would be, absolutely. So you guys, when you're searching for Melissa's channel, American Justice, you've got to make sure that you put American_Justice, otherwise you're gonna be taken to the A&E, YouTube channel. But, if one of the mods can throw her channel in the chat, that would be fantastic as well. If we go with past experience, he is telling a truth of sorts, and the kids will be wrapped up in sweaters when located. That's what I surmised back then for sure. Yep. Yep. There it is right there. American Justice, C_. Um, just trying to see. I remember being in those lives when this all happened. I did too. Like, I like I remember how I felt. I was just like, what did he just say? What did he just say? So, oh yes, many times he shot himself in the foot. And I was I was literally on Sunny's live stream telling Daniel to shut up, stop talking, because everything he said was just, it was not good. It just added to the speculation. What else do we have here? Oh, right. So you guys had asked me many times about this, if I had seen this, and like I said, I was just going through and I found it, so I thought I'd bring it up because yes, I found it. So mom's brother, Joe Ferdinand's, still praying and sharing, or Brandy Jameson, whatever, he shared this. Still praying and sharing. Please share and issue an Amber Alert to find these precious children. We cannot go another night without them home in their mother's arms. Please share, share, share. And then Daddy O Reddick down here said, post all you want, Joe. I still coming to collect. So there are a lot of people out there now to this day who are saying that this is proof that the kids could have been taken to, satisfy a drug debt, which in my opinion is absolutely ridiculous. But what do you think, Melissa? Have you seen this one before?
I've not seen the one with Joe Fernandez, no. But for me, if you have a drug debt, the dealer, the supplier, whatever we have to say for YouTube purposes, isn't going to want a child, right? They're going to want their money. The only time they're going to want a child is if they can traffic that child. But that is so, in my opinion only, so far fetched for me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I mean, could it happen? Sure. You know, but it'd be like a 0.01% for me. I just don't see that as a logical um place to go. And like I seen that quote the other day, and it's like, I admire how you never let the evidence interfere with your opinion. And it's like, yeah, so much of that reminds me of this case.
Yeah. Yeah, see, legal, it was, if I'm not mistaken, about a week before Christmas was his last. I don't know if it was an interview, interrogation, or just a discussion. Ori, I don't know if it's proof, but it's a very strange comment to put under a missing kids pic. It absolutely is. It kind of shows a level of, cold-heartedness at the very least. The very, very least. So then here's another one. Again, this is just a random screenshot that I come across. Just some stuff that Daniel said. They are loud kids. That's how I know someone they knew from Malaya's side of the family took them. The dog did bark, but very briefly. I'm guessing whoever took them may have said to the shh, don't be loud. May have said to them, shh, don't be loud. The dog did bark, but very briefly. I'm guessing told whoever, whatever. That's the same, whatever. But again, we've heard now that he doesn't believe Malaya had anything to do with it. But at the this just kind of illustrates how the story's changed, you know?
Yeah, it's not evolving, right? It's completely changing. And
Right.
I would
This isn't like
expect it to
remembering.
evolve.
Right. This isn't like remembering extra details or, you know, just updating, information. This is completely changing. And
Yes.
then this last screenshot on this side for this one was more about the timeline because there's been a lot of talk lately about that. So 3:09 left pizza shop, got home a little before 4 p.m. I got my tools together and helped work on the fence. I came inside when it started to get dark around 8 or so. Kids are already in bed. I flicked on the kids' room light around 12 a.m., I suspect. Kids are sleeping. A little while later, I go to bed. And Malaya marks the kids absent from school at 6:17 and 6:18 a.m. That's the end of that. But my thing with this is, so this was added later on that he had checked on the kids at midnight. And this says 12 p.m., but we know he means a.m. We know he means midnight. But if the kids are already in bed when he goes in, when it started to get dark, he says around 8 o'clock or so, is he just adding in that he checked on the kids at midnight and he doesn't know that the kids were in bed? Because I thought maybe possibly did they get forgotten outside? That's another theory that was going around. Maybe they succumbed to the elements outside because they were inadvertently locked outside, you know? That's looking at all possibilities, but I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, in the beginning, I definitely thought, there was maybe a possibility that coming home from town, the kids were acting up and, maybe they kicked them out of the car and said, walk home. Then I thought, well, maybe they could have been left outside and something happened. But when you go back to both of those theories, there's nothing that backs them up either. So, again, you have to follow what the evidence says. And, we know that Cindy had a call with the kids at 3 something, I think 3:27 or 3:30 something, where she spoke to the kids for 12 minutes and nothing stuck out in her mind about that call. So I have to then discount the theory of were they left outside or left, on the side of the road to walk home or anything like that. But I still think, yeah, it's possible they could have been left outside, but both of the kids were loud. So Janie would have heard it. They would have been banging on the door. They could open the door. So I just don't know. I personally can't.
Well, it would be just as believable that if they were forgotten outside, why wouldn't they go inside if that sliding glass door was so easy for them to open? I don't think it's,
Exactly.
you can't say one is more believable than the other because it's the exact same scenario except coming in the door or going out of the door. So I truly think that that rules that out, but again, here, this is where he said, and then we read it in the court docs as well, but I believe this text came out before the court docs, so.
Yeah, it did. And,
Um,
why would you flick on a light? And that's something I've said before. Why
Mhm.
would you flick on a light at midnight if A, the kids are sick, and B, they're sleeping, right? You're not going to do that. Um,
I
I
don't know any
think
parent
that,
that would.
right? I mean, for me, it's like, are you afraid somebody's seeing your light on at midnight? And that's where that's coming from?
Yeah, and so I have a few issues with that because if the kids are rambunctious and they had to have them separated so they would go to sleep, why would you chance waking them up by flicking their light on and off? And now I was told that the kids, in fact, did sleep in separate rooms, separated by plywood, I'll say. So if that was the partition in one room or whatever, I don't know, but they were separated. So which light did you flick on? But going back to my original thought, I don't know anybody, especially with rambunctious kids, that you have a hard time getting them to sleep. The last thing you would do is flick the light on and off.
And
To
kids that you've said have a habit of waking up Meadow, and you get upset because they keep waking up Meadow. You're not going to take the chance of waking up the kids for them to wake up Meadow that late at night.
Mhm. And these two comments kind of the same that we've been talking about. Jack and Lily got locked outside for the night, then that douche little dog is even more worthless than we thought. That's not very nice if you're talking about Carter or Fluffy or whatever its name is. Like, it's not the dog's job to tell them their kids are outside. But again, the, if they're trying to tell us that the kids could open that sliding glass door to get out, then they could just as easily have opened it to get in. They weren't locked out. That it didn't happen. Like they both can't. No. In my
Both things
opinion,
can't be
Malaya is
true at the
talking
same
throughout her.
time, and they never locked the door,
Right,
according to them.
right.
That's
Well, they
why
had the
they could
wrench
go
on
out
the front door, in case the bear came in, but they didn't protect the back sliding door in case the kids got out and met the bear in the yard. But again, if it's possible, if they said that it was possible that they snuck out in the morning, then they could have snuck in at night.
agreed.
So yeah. In my opinion, Malaya talking throughout her psychosis. Well, we won't know until if and when charges are laid. Uh, oh, I worry that SA is involved. I don't think the kids were put out to walk home because RCMP would have followed that up the roads, and we know that they've checked a lot of video cameras, surveillance. These cases do hit hard, especially on a day like today when we're looking back at 8 months of information, misinformation, misdirection, And how do we know what to put put our put our trust in? We There's nothing we can put our trust in. It's so unfortunate, and that's my whole point today.
And we should be able to trust the family, but and I am excluding Belinda in this, but the family, let's just say Daniel Martell and Malaya and Janie, and they've just contradicted themselves so many times that we can't trust anything they say. And it's not that we don't want to, but we can't verify it either because the stories keep changing. So it's hard to trust and put belief in people. If somebody lies to you in your normal life, how many times do you let them lie to you before you stop believing what they say? And that's kind of how it is with this case.
Mhm.
And I did star chart two comments that Denise said. One, Denise said, um, did you see what B in Florida said about Daniel saying him and Meadow will visit Malaya in jail? I do remember hearing that at one point.
I do
I
have the
think it was in
screenshot.
a screenshot.
I do have it, and I will send it to you. I didn't include it in here, but I do have it. I saw it today. I'll send it to you.
What do we think about that? I think that he is passively aggressively throwing shade, whether he wants to admit it or not. And
He
then,
absolutely was, and that was when he was, outright accusing, Malia of taking the kids and knowing everything. He has since come out and said, "I know Malia," well, publicly, he says, "I know Malia had nothing to do with it," but he still privately, to certain people, believes that Malia has all the answers in Cindy. So,
yes, exactly. Um, Shar, you're gonna have to answer this one because B in Florida, I'm not sure. I know that she's a step sibling, but I'm not sure through or with whom.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. I meant to go back and check, but I don't know for sure to be able to say with any kind of, authority. I do have the information, I just don't remember it, and I have to look it up. So I will I will write it down to do it for next time because that's the second time we've been asked. So, but I do believe that it's through marriage only. So I believe that Cindy's ex is Haley's dad, I believe, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. All right, so let's move on. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides left. Um, oh, this one was to me, and this is crazy. All day long in a group chat I'm in, I have no idea why, but I've been there since it was created and just haven't left. I normally never look at it. They've been talking about a list with addresses on it that was shared, and apparently you were doing a members only tonight with Chrissy Travers, and they were all plotting to be there to call Chrissy out, including Christine Inriggs. What fucking drama? Where's Lily and Jack and all of this? This is just a small example of the bullshit that I'm sure not only me, that we deal with behind the scenes. Like, I don't I wanted to put this out there because I know that there's a certain, I guess, sect of the community out there that believe that I have some kind of vendetta, and I don't. But this is literally the shit that goes on without my knowledge. And when I speak up for myself, I'm the enemy, right? So I had nothing to do with this situation, but I was dragged into it. Like it was almost like purposely creating something to piss me off or whatever. But anyways, moving on. I want to I had said earlier that I had that one channel's live chat where Durwood and Janie were in at the same time. Somebody asked Durwood specifically about the shushing of the kids. And Durwood said Janie heard shh. She also confirmed that when Belinda and her spoke. Exclamation point. And then not too long later, Janie pipes up and says, "No, I just heard the kids." Well, we know about the next day, Durwood went over to Janie because Janie was making him look like a liar online. And I know that's true because I heard it from both sides the next day. Do you know what I mean? So it was true. It was true. You have anything to say about that one? You want me to go back?
So no, I don't need you to go back. I have actually that full conversation. So while we go through the rest of these, I will actually look for that.
Okay, perfect. So next one I found, I don't know exactly when this happened. I guess I could have looked at the date it was sent to me. But Durwood had posted on Facebook, "I am sorry for the trouble my involvement in trying to help with Jack and Lily has caused so much trouble for you, my sons. I love you both forever and always." That's good. That's nice. That's exactly how a father should act. And then his son, "Love you, Daddy O. I got your back forever. And fuck those miserable people. Time will tell." I absolutely. Durwood says, "Jordan, forever, Jord." And Durwood says, "Stick with me, Jordan." Again, this is what a normal, caring father would do or say. But in my opinion, he carried on. And after this point, Jordan ended up losing a lot. A lot. Just saying. So don't bite your tongue. Why are you making it? Why are you saying that? Yes, here in the States, northern Alabama, he was found about 3 hours ago. Oh, you're talking about little Johnny? In my opinion, the whole coming home and fixing the fence didn't happen at all. Maybe they went visiting, come home in bad party way, and kids forgotten in car. Oh yeah, maybe. I think he added the story about entering the bedroom in case someone saw the light on at that time. Maybe. Yeah, I've heard that. Brian says Darwood is full of shit and Jordan is half full of shit. I honestly truly think that Jordan has he he believes the right thing to do is to defend his dad. And I think that's exactly what Jordan is doing or sorry, was doing. And I don't begrudge him that, but I wish Durwood would have put his son's well-being before, his own ego. Daniel says he don't remember Thursday night. Who's to say Malaya does either? So who remembers the kids? Yeah, you're not wrong. And see, you're the boyfriend, not their father. Super creepy. Dolly can't get into Canada with his record, right? He hasn't even tried, but I mean, probably a reason why he's not trying. I think that there's something about his ID, but Gren's right. I don't think he believes he can. So why try? Hattie V sad, but at least there will be closure for him. Watching all these other cases get closure while Jack and Lily are still missing is heartbreaking. Yeah, and we were talking yesterday about how, there are cases like look at Summer Wells and not just the cases that are still open. Sebastian Rogers, there are so many, but there are cases that are solved, but sometimes it takes a year or 2 years, and we're 8 months in, and it's too long, it really is, but in the grand scheme of things, it could be it could be worse, and it might get worse because the RCMP alluded to, being in it for the long haul, you know? So, I haven't lost hope. I thought Jordan straightened this out after a convo with Mike DeMann. It's I shouldn't speak on it directly because it is what it is, but the Mike Demand thing, I don't think presented Jordan accurately. I'll say that. In my opinion, your life isn't worth very much when you can expire the lives of little biddies and try to cover it up. Be a hero, stand up, tell all. And I'll say to whoever is out there who might know something, say something, because the person that knows something, the person who talks first is going to get the best deal. And this is Canada. And no shade to our justice system, but it's a joke. So get a slap on the wrist at best. Speak now. Bring those kids home, one way or the other. Put an end to this.
Yeah, I mean, at what point does watching this pain and suffering not get enough? Like, if I were to do something and I am sitting back and I'm watching all the pain and suffering and all the infighting and all of the finger pointing and the blaming, but I know I'm the one that did it, at some point it's going to get to me and I'm going to be like, look, I can't take it anymore. This is what happened. And I keep telling myself that's going to happen in this case, and yet we're not seeing it. And I will have to find those screenshots later because I know I have them. It's just everything's a mess right now.
Mhm. I don't think we can blame Durwood for Jordan's wife allegedly leaving because Jordan himself told AB or someone that he has a drinking problem. I'm not blaming Durwood for any of that, because Jordan is an adult and he makes his own decisions. However, there, any parent, in my opinion, would recognize the turmoil that if they were causing in their child's life to try to minimize the impact on their children. And no matter how old your child is, it's your job to protect them. And if his drama and the bullshit that was going on started to negatively affect Jordan, which I believe it did, and we saw it, um, at what point do you step back and say, okay, I need to put my kids first? This has got to stop. I can't fight back even harder because it's going to get worse for me and my kids. So the pressure, the stress, not just that, his good friend was being accused online of, disappearing two small children. All of the online speculation, and believe it or not, Jordan does watch and listen to things that go on online. He sees it, so that does add a lot of stress and pressure to somebody that's really got no involvement, in my opinion. But then to have your dad throw gasoline on a fire, I just I just don't know that I would be that kind of a parent. My kids' well-being would be a lot more important to me, um, than that. To stress him out to the point where, acting out, maybe possibly drinking too much, who knows, maybe he couldn't concentrate at work. There were many things that you could, attribute to high stress and turmoil. I'm not there, I don't know them, but the optics of it look terrible, and I do have empathy for Jordan, absolutely.
And I just have to say, I don't blame Jordan or Durwood, right, for the disappearance of these kids.
No, me either,
And
not at all.
I don't think it's necessarily wrong that Durwood stuck up for Jordan or anybody in this situation, even Daniel. It's the way he went about doing it that has caused such a fuss and such a stir for me, in my opinion. Um, it's not that he did it. It's not that he stood up for Daniel. It's not that he stood up for Jordan. It's the way he did it, the things he said, things like that for me.
No, I agree. Do you wanna read this screenshot and maybe look after chat for a minute? Ian is here and he's trying to pull my car out. I just wanna go and see it. That'd be like 5 minutes. I just wanna go and see if he needs help. I doubt it, and I probably won't help him, but I'll call the neighbor or something, but I just wanna go check on him, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. So, B in Florida said, or Kelly said, B in Florida. I think they know a lot more than what they're saying. The RCMP would not show the cards they hold. I agree. I think that the RCMP is a lot closer than we give them credit for, in my opinion. So Natasha Haywood informed the RCMP on May 31st. She described seeing a young girl holding a young boy's hand. The boy had dirty blonde hair and was wearing shorts, while the girl had darkish hair and pigtails and was wearing a tank top with blue strings. According to the police, she said the children were walking toward a Caucasian female of about 50 to 60 years old with a loose curl haircut, who was waiting next to the passenger side of an older model tan or gold sedan with the back door open. I fully believe, and in my opinion only, that Natasha Haywood did see this. However, I don't think it was Lilly and Jack, because she also said that she thought the girl, I think it was here, was like 9 or 10 years old. So a lot older than Lilly. And then she thought, yeah, Natasha Hayward provided the same description as before, but added she thought the girl was 9 to 10 years old and the boy was around 5. I wonder to myself, and I'm not saying she's lying, because like I said, I fully believe she's seen it, but I wonder if she didn't see Daniel's other kids, Rain and Arlo, um, leaving at a different time to go home. I didn't put, me personally, I didn't put a lot of, not necessarily trust or faith, but I didn't put a lot of weight into her seeing the kids, because I don't think it was that day. And I think that the kids were a little bit older than what I would have expected her to see, and the kids weren't dressed like that we know of. So that's kind of how I feel about that. What? Yeah. So you said, who did Lily's hair and pigtails? Exactly. Nobody was up. Um,
I'm not.
Commonly didn't get them breakfast or anything like that. So I don't see that it was that day. And yes, I covered Jonathan's case earlier.
Yeah, that was sad. So you're done with this screenshot?
Yes.
Okay, move on to the last one. And this is a random, not exactly a random, but I don't want to give out who it was. But I will read it, and this is just a theory. I believe there was an accident. If Daniel doesn't know, Janie and Ron do. In my opinion, if it was Thursday night, it was definitely Daniel, and he was on meth. I don't know about the night, but during that time period, if it was the morning, it could be Janie that snapped. I do not think they are alive, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't the case, but I do not feel they are. So obviously somebody's got maybe a little bit of insight, but this is kind of what people closer to the family are thinking privately. I'm sure they would never tell their close people that they believe that. But yeah, just to give you a little bit of insight where some of these close contacts from the family is coming from. And I'm not sharing the name, just because they don't need that kind of energy towards them. But um, there are a lot of people out there that think like all the Martells are protecting Daniel, and everybody on Malaya's side is protecting Malaya, when in reality they're regular people with common sense who look at the information that's in front of them, and they're making their own theories in their mind that make sense to them. And this is just an example. This is one of many examples of, um, you know, to me, and this might not be completely common sense, whatever you think, but just to show you, not everybody is out there to hide and protect the family, these people. they just don't have any proof. So, you know, you have anything to say about that, Melissa?
So when I was talking to Belinda, one of the first times I had talked to her, and I believe it was when I was creating the document, and I had, I don't know, an hour and a half or so conversation with her. And I had asked her, what are there any theories that you're willing to share? And I have asked Belinda if I'm allowed to share this, and she said yes, I was back then. And it was something I talked about on Sunny's channel, and Sunny, didn't agree with it and kind of dismissed the idea. And I understand where she was coming from, but somebody in the family had said that they wondered if maybe the kids didn't actually make it home, and had wondered if maybe they were acting up in the car. And so when you hear me say maybe they were acting up in the car and they were put out, that didn't just, magically come to me. That was a theory back in kind of the beginning of this case, and a theory that a family member had. And I, kind of thought on it, and that's when I went down that rabbit hole of, well, what do we have that would confirm that or dispute that? And that's when I got, came to the conclusion, with Cindy having the phone call that afternoon with the kids, I fully believe that they made it home. However, what if the kids were hyper and all of that and they were sent outside? And that's where, I had said a while ago, I thought about them being locked out, but again, I think that they would have went in the back door. So it's not that everybody jumped on the blame Daniel and blame Malaya and blame Janie train. It's that we've looked at everything else or thought of everything else that we can think of, and we've either been able to confirm it or dispel it and debunk it. You're muted.
Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm just looking at chat. It makes me rage rally to protect Daniel or Malaya, who in either family is rallying for Jack and Lilly. Bunch of butt wipes, right? I agree, 100%. And again, I come back to my hope for this live stream was to share information about Jack and Lilly, and instead we're here rehashing old bullshit that I found interesting as I was looking for something specific this afternoon. And I mean, it is what it is. And if anybody that I showed a screenshot of today is unhappy with the way I've conducted this, then, you know, maybe come up with something positive to say about the kids, because the public needs it. We need you to put some heart and soul into the search for Jack and Lilly and not just allow them to be content on YouTube. This is your responsibility, not ours. But here we are, dredging up shit just to keep talking about them. And like I said, the more we talk about them, the more shit we keep bringing up, the more tips are going to go in. And unfortunately, the tips that come in from this stuff is probably going to be irrelevant, but it's going to keep the case from going cold. That's the way my mind thinks. Uh, and there's certain people to blame, in my opinion. All I
But
wanted
when
to
you
know was their favorite treat, their favorite food, their favorite activities, like their children. There's millions of things you can talk about when you love your grandchildren and when you love your children and you spend time with them and you play with them, you know? And I
and
mean, I
not
do have stories from from Daniel, but it was from so long ago and I was asked not to share. And I mean, I guess I could, but again, I would have to go back and look because it's been so long. And it's just about things like, um, Lilly didn't know what a hammer was, I believe. And it wasn't like a great story, like a happy story. It was just an example of how sheltered they were, you know. I don't know.
And in my opinion, you've got certain people, and I'm going to use the word related loosely here to the kids, that talk down about them or talk as if they absolutely can't stand Jack and Lilly. It's like you're talking negatively about two missing children. You couldn't find one positive thing to say. And I'm not talking about Belinda. You couldn't find one positive thing to say about about the kids. I mean, I don't understand. Like, how hard is it to find something positive about Jack and Lily? I'm sure all of us here can think of something positive to say about them.
Absolutely. I've got a little video. Um, uh, oh, Wolfie, no, it's not that kind of live stream. Um, just he sent me some posts about things that Durwood had said back in the day. But I got a little video that was posted on Facebook today for the 8-month. And I don't really want to read everything, but oh, look at that. My internet is buffering. Just a minute. Pause. It's a little 40-second video. Hopefully the music's not going to get me copyright striked. However that works. Why does it not? All right, got to pause. All right, let me share the screen. Remember to turn the audio on. It's just a touching little video that was posted. We will give a little bit of attention to. Oh, gotta mute myself. Can you hear that?
No, I don't have any music. I assumed you were afraid it would get copyright striked.
No. No, like I don't care if it's copyright strike, but I see. Pause it. The volume is up here. Oh, for Pete's sake. I'm pretty sure I did it right. Let me reshare it. My window. Share this. Share the audio. Share it again. Put it up. Audio's on. Volume is on. Mute myself. Let me know if you can't hear it again.
I don't hear anything.
Whatever. It's just like a little piano music. A big, but it's a sweet video. Got lots of nice pictures. Sweet pictures. And a couple that I hadn't seen before.
That one with them in costumes is AI, by the way.
Is it? I'm so excited.
I
She
think
always
she
has a good
liked
time.
chocolate cake.
I think she always seems to have the
That
biggest
one right
smile.
there.
This is AI?
Yes. From
Aw.
what I understood when it first came out, yes. But I do not have confirmation of that from family.
Okay. Such cute pictures, and a lot of pictures, I think, um, like, you can see the huge smile on her face all the time, but some of the pictures later on, like the more recent, pictures, the smile almost looks like it's very good. Harley, back on his attitude. I might have to ditch you guys for my dog. Can you hear that?
I don't.
It says okay, go on. 5 minutes. Melissa, you can carry on with the live stream. You're streaming to an audience too. I just leave it on. You can't hear that?
I can't hear it. I can't hear Harley playing with the squeaky. I used to have
Um,
a squeaky toy like that for my little chihuahua, and it was hilarious. It would make him so mad. But something I remember Belinda sharing a story one time, and I think she shared it on Sunny's channel, that when Lily was little, she always liked to put Belinda's glasses on. So Belinda went and found an old pair and took the lenses out of them, um, so that
I
Lily could
remember that.
mock her, essentially.
I
Maybe
am
I
going
should get the flu shot. I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't get shots.
mm, okay, so I've got a very simple poem for Jack and Lily that I would like to read. Um, nope. What the heck? There we go. Um, I would like to read the poem that Addie V sent me earlier, and then I'm probably going to dip, but I'll leave my live stream going so Melissa can carry on if you have more you want to talk about. Um, it says that ordinary day turned into the 4 seasons. Spring had sprung, and we just loved our fun. It's all we knew, right, Jackie Poo? How could we know when we went out to play that would be our very last day? Then darkness came, the summer sun with its playful rays gave us hope it'll be any day now. When the fall leaves began falling, Lily May kept silently calling, "Burr, winter has settled over us. We don't like this cold. Please don't stop making a fuss over us. Help us find our way home." That's cute. And I know Addie also wrote a nice poem for Belinda. Maybe in the future I'll ask if I can share it. Uh, but thank you, Addie. I didn't get a whole lot of tributes to Jack and Lily this time for this 8-month mark, as sad as that is, but what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Refunds isn't given without a receipt. Better not make me bawl my eyes out. Hugging Jack, it brings me to tears. Can see the love between them and her beautiful smile. It's so tragic. These healthy kids, what a shame. I agree. It certainly is beyond sad. I don't know what you guys are talking about with
So
receipts
she's
and stuff.
actually talking about, she said, my point is that the boots were probably purchased recently. So the boots were purchased, and without going to the document, I can't tell you exactly, but I want to say January, February, March, April, May. I want to say it was March 31st. I'd have to go to the document I did, but they had the receipt. That's how they had the SKU number for the boots to know and go and look at what size was actually bought.
Wasn't it what I think wasn't it 29, which is
Yeah.
the equivalent to a 13?
No, it was the number 29, but 29 was equivalent to the 11.
11.
But when they asked Malaya what size shoes Lily wore, she said that it was a 12 or 13. But when they went and checked with the receipt and the SKU number and the number on the bottom of the shoe, that corresponded with a size 11.
Right. All right, Jack and Lily, please let peace be with you. Thank you, Addie V. Absolutely. Yes, but not purchases. Yeah, I don't I heard so Lily's birthday is in March, and I heard that those boots were bought for her birthday last year. That's what I heard, but I have no receipt for that at all. Oh. What happened to this generation? Sonny, play that song again. The other day, I just wept for these children. Another man might have thought I was a baby weeping. Who cares what other people think? Animal keeper, if it brings up emotion, it's genuine. And it's more than we're getting from the people who were supposed to raise and protect and love these little babies. And I'm really sorry about my sound is off now? No, it's not. Melissa would have told me. No, it's not. Um, you guys can go to Facebook and search that out if you want to. But I am going to dip. Like I said, Ian's trying to pull my car out. Harley is stressing out. See that? He's by the door.
Let me out, Mom.
He wants to go. He wants to go. Even though he was just out right before I came on, I had to go let him in. You can ask Melissa. It's true.
So I don't
So,
have anything else to add.
oh,
Um,
okay.
I just, 8 months is way longer than I thought this would take
Yeah.
to resolve. And I wish it was yesterday, but the only thing we can do is keep Jack and Lily's name out there. And for those people that want to say we do it for clicks and views, no, we don't. We do it for the kids. We do it to keep awareness out there for the kids. And I'm sure that, I mean, I'm not monetized, but I'm sure Shar would tell you she would give up her monetization to Jack and Lily if they could just be found. So that's the goal in all of this, is reminding everybody that it's Jack and Lily that matter. It's Jack and Lily that we do this for. And hopefully we'll find them soon.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is not about clicks and views. So I've taken a couple of my live streams down because I couldn't in good conscience stand behind what was in it. Um I you know, this is about raising awareness. It's about keeping their names out there, not just Jack and Lily. We're talking about Darius, Dylan Eller, any missing kids that are out there. But today is about Jack and Lily. And just want to encourage everybody to there's there's so much drama and so much bullshit out there and so much hate and toxic. Oh, it's a terrible, terrible community right now. And there's a small group of us that are trying our best to keep the conversation relevant and as non-toxic as we possibly can. And hopefully we can we can continue to try to clear the air, right? Just stay away from the drama, stay away from the bullshit. If people are being ignorant to you, there's a block button there. Um, I don't know. Spread positivity, don't spread hate. Uh, you keep wondering, maybe possibly one day, if by some miracle Jack and Lily come home and they're alive, and they get older and they go back and they look at all this shit, what are they gonna think? And same with Meadow. Same with Meadow. One day she's gonna grow up and she's gonna go looking and she's gonna see all this shit. And what is she gonna think? So we need to be better than the bullshit. Bullshit. Just my opinion. But if you thrive on it, then fill your boots. Do you? Live and let live, I always say. Yes, go sub to American Justice. Absolutely. I appreciate everybody. Thank you again for the new memberships. Ben, you're my hero. And I believe Steph Warrior became a new member. Thank you so much. And other than that, that's my closing remarks. Do you have anything before we say goodbye?
No, just keep praying and keep the kids' names out there because they're what matters in all of this.
Exactly. Okay. Good night, guys. Next live stream, unsure. Probably tomorrow. And then I'm off to BC. So I'll take a day off and then I'll see you when I'm in BC. Okay. Bye.